What it do, crew excellence? Hey man, I'm back. It's Justin Strickland, the host of the Ladder Podcast. I am elated to be with you today. W word, ACT word. So excited to be with you today. Welcome to the Ladder Podcast. If you're new, this is a podcast all about leadership. I'm here to take you from level 1 to level 2 and beyond. And if you like leadership and you want to learn how to develop, make sure you like and subscribe. We got content coming out weekly. I just talked to my man Nate. We elevating the frequency. I love leadership and I love talking about it in a way that can help develop you and help you move you to the next level of your life, right? And so today, I got to be honest. I was listening to a podcast, as I do, and it was an amazing concept that I was like, I got to bring to my audience. And it was this ideal that a lot of times we are overworking and underthinking. That's the name of the podcast. You already see, yeah, I see how I worked that in there early. We're overworking and underthinking. And what happens, what most people's lives look like, majority of people, especially in America, is the majority of your waking hours are spent working. And almost all of us, the entrepreneurship numbers you can check, and I'm not talking about self-employed. Real entrepreneur is real low percentage of people are working for someone else. We're working we might love what we do. We might be working in a field that we love, but we're spending majority of our hours of our week working. And when we get home, we are exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, and we just want to chill. We want to watch Netflix, play with our kids, cook dinner, and we want to go to sleep so we can do it all over again. What happens when you get caught in that cycle? Some people call it the rat race, right? Some people call it the trap. Whatever your pseudonym is for this, right? What happens when you get caught in that is you have so much ideals, so many things inside of you that don't have an opportunity to grow, and you're not giving them a chance to because you're overworking and underthinking. The ideals and dreams that we have, they don't just happen. I want you to hear me clearly. I'm not saying that you don't have to work hard for things, but what I am saying is that when you're overworking, you are not allowing yourself an opportunity to pursue your dreams. There are so many people that are working multiple jobs and they are working incredibly long hours in an effort to make ends meet. But they have a dream, or they have a plan, or they have a goal that would not only make ends meet, but would give them joy. And they're not creating time to think about how they can make that happen. And as I'm talking, some of y'all are saying ouch because I'm talking to you, right? And my preachers always say, if you can't say amen, you better say ouch, right? I'm saying that I'm not shaming you for this. What I am saying is your life won't change if you keep living like this. If you keep overworking, then you will never have the things that you're dreaming about because they require your mind. They not only require your hands and your feet, they require your mind. That's why we saw so many people make so much money during the pandemic, right? If you remember, during the pandemic, everybody had what? Time. Time to do what? Think. And they came up with all these incredible content ideas, these incredible businesses, and people's lives literally changed while the world was in a global pandemic just because they had time to think. Not even because their mentality changed or that they all of a sudden had access to resources. What they did have access to was time and time to think. Their world slowed down. They couldn't go outside as much. They couldn't be as inundated with work as much. There wasn't as much overtime. People were going remote. And what you did is you sat down at home and you could think. Well, I want you all to create that environment even in a non-pandemic. Even when the world isn't shut down, you can shut down time in your life where you can think about the things you want to do. Have you ever thought about your managers? You're like, bro, they don't do no work. And some of y'all managers don't do no work, okay? But have you ever thought about that and like, bro, why they don't never work? I'm doing all the work and they make more money than me. It's because they don't get paid to work. They get paid to think. They get paid to make schedules, handle poor customer service, to do the scheduling as far as supplies coming in and supplies going out. They get paid to think about those things, and we're getting paid to work. And I'm going to tell you, the way capitalism is set up and has always been set up, the thinkers get paid more. The people that work from the neck up get paid more than the people that work from the shoulders down. And here's a nugget for you. Neck up work it lasts longer. If you work shoulders down, your body breaks down. You can no longer make money. But if you work neck up, your ability to work never ends. Look at Skip Bayless. He got to be 98 years old. But he's still on Fox Sports 1, and he's still making a ton of money doing what he does, right? Where the athletes, he's been covering athletes since the 70s. Their careers have been over. His career he got a 50-year career because he's working from the neck up, okay? And so that's what I want for you all. I want you all to be able to have opportunities if you want them. And this is the thing, even if you like working with your hands, there's still a way you can think about it that can elevate your business or elevate your viability for a company. You can still use your brain, use your mind, use your time to think, so that even if you're like, I'm a hands-on guy, I like to be out doing stuff. I'm a hands-on girl, I like to really be touching. I don't want to just be in the office. I want to be out working. Cool. Let's think about a way to do it where you can make more money. You can have more time for your family and your friends, and you can be happy doing it. And so even if you love what you do and you're like, I don't want to be in management, I don't want to be an entrepreneur, there's still a way you can think about what you're doing that can improve your experience. And so here are the 3 things that can move you from working to thinking. The first thing is sacrifice. And you're going to be like, man, I ain't tuning into this podcast to hear you tell me to sacrifice. That might be true, but I'm going to tell you anyway, okay? You got to sacrifice a little bit of money. And this is very counterculture to everything I just said, because I just talked about helping you make more money and all. Well, in the beginning of your process of slowing down and thinking, you have to be able to say no to some opportunities that might make you money, but take away from your time to think. So some of you are working 2 jobs, and the second job is just money you play with. It's money that you waste. It's money that you don't have to steward well. You're working a second job so that you can have money to spend on clothes and shoes. It'd be more valuable for you to sacrifice that pocket money now so you can think about having more time so you can make that money doing one thing. I want you to know it's possible. Just because, and that's the thing too, some of us only know hustling. Some of us only know working multiple jobs, having multiple sources of income that we have to work for. Not investments, not real estate. I'm talking about multiple sources of income where I have to show up on the weekends or in the evenings or, you know what I mean, overnight. And I got to show up to these gigs to make this extra money. And that's all we know. That's all we've done. But if we work neck up, I guarantee you can find a way to make that second job money doing much less work. You can find a way to make that second job money doing your first job better and being more valuable where they pay you more. You can find it out. You can figure it out. The only reason you haven't is because you haven't set aside time to think. And so I want you to sacrifice some of those outings. I want you to sacrifice that second job. I want you to sacrifice some of your Netflix just so that you have time to think, so that you can come up with a plan to change your life. Isn't it worth it? That's where I'm at in my life. I don't know about y'all, Crew Excellence. That might be why I'm the favorite member. But I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I'm exhausted from the perspective that I'm going to have to work more hours. I'm going to have to work longer shifts in order to increase my income. I'm past that point in life. I'm at the point where I know that God has gifted me with some stuff that if I just think about long enough, I can find a way for it to make me some money. And what I've discovered through the internet, through content, through access to information more than we've ever had in human history, is that there are people making money doing things that you would not think they were making money doing, and they're making good money doing it. And the difference between them and us is they thought about it. They thought about it. I'm in education. You don't know how many teachers during the pandemic figured out that being a virtual tutor made them more money. They still helped kids. They still found a way to be in education because that's what they love to do. And they discover, wait a minute, I could teach these 20 kids in this one school at one time, or I can teach thousands of kids from my home at all times. And they transitioned and they thought about it in a way that where they've built their livelihoods off of that transition, off of that shift in their thinking. And so, and don't get me wrong, when you make that sacrifice, it is scary. It is not easy to make that sacrifice. And I don't want to minimize that. It's hard when you got less money coming in. It can be difficult when you're used to living a certain way and you got to peel some things back and you got to turn the TV off and you got to give up some of your late night activities. That can be uncomfortable, but that could be the push that causes your brain to turn on. That could be just the motivation that you need so that you actually write down your plan and you actually start to execute the different tenets and the different steps on your plan, because that's the only thing in between you and your dream. It's not that you haven't dreamed them. It's that you haven't thought about how to make them happen. Okay. So number one is sacrifice. Number two, education. Education. And I don't necessarily just mean a 4-year degree, even though for some things that might be what is between you and your dream. For some people, you can't get to where you want to be if you don't go to college, if you don't go to a 4-year university, if you don't get a master's, if you don't get a doctorate. That might be, you might have to see that plan and you might have to walk through that in order to capture what you want to capture. But for everybody, education is going to be what moves you through the next level. And that's a certification program. That can be a technical program. That can be a trade school. That can be an online course. Google has, I've been trying to get my little homies to get into tech. Google got like 20 tech courses that you can take for 3 to 6 months and come out and make $65,000. How many of you listening are at a job you don't like, bringing home 35 to 50,000? And in 3 to 6 months, you could double that, or you could add an extra 20,000 onto that. And some of y'all like, I don't know if I want to be in tech. Cool. But you know you don't want to be there. So what if you had more money, right? And you didn't have to work as long hours and you were not location bound. What could you think about and figure out what you want to do, right? Like, these are the things that I want you all to think about. These are the things that I think about all the time. I'm constantly making time so that I can think. And I want to be very clear on it. It's not because I'm lazy. No, in fact, it's because I am tired of being in positions where I have to do things I don't want to do. I like to work hard. You can ask people that everybody know me. No, I work a ton, but it's not because I want to. It's because I thought about where I want to go. And there's things that I'm doing right now that are setting up where I'm going. Some of you aren't in that place. You work a lot just for today. You work in a 14-hour shift just for today. You haven't thought about your future. You haven't thought about where you want to be. All you know is this dream you have. You have this idea of what you want your life to look like, but you haven't spent 1 minute thinking about how you can make that happen. And I want you to know education is a great way where you can elevate what you know with the people that you want to be. What they know is usually an education gap. And the more you grow in your education, the closer you can get to catching them. You don't even got to go pay for school. Read books. If y'all would just start reading books, I'm telling you, they got gems. They be putting the game in books, y'all. To this day, I know y'all think everything is online. I can learn on YouTube. I can learn on TikTok. It's not true. These old heads that got long money, that have been working for a long time, that are where you want to be, they wrote a book. They didn't make a TikTok, okay? They wrote a book. And if you read their book, you can skip 5 to 10 years of your plan just because now you have wisdom from someone who's done it, okay? Education is key. That's number 2. Number 3, you got to change your circle of influence. You got to change your circle of influence. And what I mean by that is physically and digitally. So we live in this world that we kind of mend the two. Some of us, I'm going to start with the physical. Some of your friends are comfortable with where they are, and that's dope for them. And I love that for them. But you're not. You complain about your job, to lack of resources, to lack of freedom of time. You want to be able to do some more things. You want to be able to love what you do, live in different places, have peace and when you get up to go to work, you want peace while you at work. You want peace when you off work. And the only thing standing between you and that might be your friends. It might be your people. And what I mean by that, in love, right? Hey y'all, I'm trying to go somewhere else. I got something that I've been thinking about. I've been dreaming about. Some of you got friends that when you tell them your dream, I'm like, bro, shut up, man. You know, come on, man, you tripping. Come on, bro. Who you man, you ain't gonna do that. And it sound every time I hear people like say that they have friends like that, I be like, what? Why is that person your friend? And so some of you this might be the nudge you need. I don't like the phrase cut them off. Go ahead and make some distance between you and that person. Maybe not spend as much time with them. I always believe in I don't burn bridges. I love people. But that might be, hey, we can't hang out every Saturday no more because that's the time that I've set aside to think about how I'm going to make my plan possible. How I'm going to make my dream possible. If you want to come over and we can brainstorm together, two heads is better than one. But I ain't going to be drunk. I ain't going to be high. You know what I'm saying? Like, TV ain't going to be on. I'm setting aside this time to think because I want to increase my joy. I want to increase my peace. And if I think about it, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. And so circle of influence physically matters. Also, your circle of influence digitally. Who you spend your time following and watching and listening to matters. Music, content online, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. That stuff matters. As you ingest all this content, it can't help but change and shift your perspective, which is why that's why I'm very intentional with what I do here at The Ladder, because I want this to be beneficial, right? My favorite rapper, Jerry C, he said, I will never extort your life if I'm not adding to it. And this is ideal where if you're getting content from me, if you're spending time with me, I'm going to give you something. This is free content. I'm putting you on game. I'm trying to help you change your life. I don't want nothing but a like and a share, right? That's all I want. If you can give me that, I would appreciate it. And subscribe if you ain't seen it yet, because this stuff is good, y'all. But you have to intentionally change your digital footprint. Who are you watching? Who are you listening? Are you listening to people who are where you would like to be? Are you watching people who are where you would like to be? Are you ingesting content that moves you forward towards your dream and your plans and your goal? And I'm not saying you can't just have just for fun content, or you can't just have content that just entertaining, but I'm saying that can't be the bulk of your digital footprint. That can be the bulk of your digital circle. If all the people you follow just tell jokes and you don't want to be a comedian, hey fam, we might have to change, because now what you're doing is you're going online to escape thinking. You're going online so you don't have to use your brain. You just want to be entertained. You turn on Netflix because you just want to be entertained. I'm saying find some people online that are talking about financial freedom. Find some people online that are talking about the business that are in the area that you are, and listen to them talk. They'll put you on game. They're giving out free game too. Like, just like the people in the books, I talk about education. They got not the same stuff, but some similar stuff online that you can get access to for free. That it just costs you saying, hey, I don't want to laugh as much when I get on Instagram. I'm going to follow more people that are personal trainers, because that's what I want to do. So I'm going to see the kind of content they post. I'm going to pay attention to the kind of programming they're doing. If they're only doing online, if they're doing a hybrid, do they have ebooks? I'm going to pay attention to all the stuff they're doing. I'm going to ingest it. I'm going to figure out how I can do it in my way. That's how we saw in the pandemic, all these fitness influencers start making all this money. It's because they realize, hey, wait a minute, I can do an online plan. I can put that together. I do it for my clients. I could do that online. I could do that digitally. And they saw each other doing it. And they was like, bet. And they built empires on this foundation of, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what your digital circle should be for you. It should be an opportunity for you to see yourself in 5 or 10 years. Or for some of us, 6 months. You could be where they are in 6 months if you just spend time thinking, right? And so I'm encouraging you all, because I want you to know that there is something special and there is something unique about you. But if you don't spend any time thinking about it, then the world will never know. You might not ever know. And so I want you all to stop right now overworking and underthinking. I want you to stop it. I want you to put an end to it. I want from this day forward for you to be the person to be like, no, I can't do that. I'm thinking about some things tonight. Y'all have a good time. But I gotta come up with a plan. And you'd be surprised. You might have some friends that want to do the same thing, but they didn't know you did. And you can brainstorm, you can bounce ideas off of them because they really want to get better too. They just didn't know that's what we was on. And so y'all leaders, that's why y'all in Crew Excellence, right? Tell your people, this is what we on now. We're thinking, we're using our brains because we about to all change our lives. I want you all to come with me. Right? I want you all to do the things that make you happy. I want you all to do the things that give you joy. I want you all to do the things that give you peace, that help you feel content. I want those to be the things you do every day, not what you're doing that you're unhappy in. And I want to be clear, y'all. I'm not dissing people that work with their hands or that people that do manual labor. I'm just saying, even for them, I want you guys to think, is this profitable for you long term? And if it is, how much can you make sure that you ensure your longevity in this field? How can you make sure that you are taking advantage of every opportunity that's in your field? Don't just show up and work, y'all. Y'all are so much more than just workers. You got a brain for a reason. And I want you all to start using it to change your life. And so I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. I was very excited to come make it. When I was listening to podcasts, I said, oh, I got it. I got to go tell my people about this because this is a fire concept. I talked to my wife about it and she was like, huh? And when she said, huh, I said, I got something. I knew I had something. So I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and share and subscribe to the content because I am really enjoying this process and I want more people to get access to this information because I think it could be beneficial. And I want to help as many people as I can. So thank you for watching The Ladder. I'm Justin Strickland. I'm your host, your favorite Crew Excellence member. I was hanging out with your granddad yesterday and he was like, bro, I just love you, young fella. And so I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment and I'll holler at y'all next week, man. Peace.